Hello and welcome to this up-close interview with Jill Marlan. She is the CEO and founder of Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Absolutely.
You just opened up a physical therapy in Okemos in 2018. This is your second location. You have one on the west side of Lansing.
Absolutely.
So congratulations. Welcome to the Okemos area.
Yeah, we're super happy to be here in the Okemos area. This is a phenomenal community. We have some wonderful partnerships that we're here on this side of the town, and we're right next to Playmakers. So there's
That's a key location, isn't it?
It's a very nice location.
Yeah.
Yep. And we have a community center that splits the two of us in between, where we're doing health and wellness educational center type of topics there once a month. And then I have about a 7,000 square foot facility right that adjoins in through there. It's all state-of-the-art equipment, and we're really excited.
So you were born and raised in Grand Ledge. You graduated from Grand Ledge High School. You know, looking at sports, there's all that competitiveness with Okemos and Grand Ledge. How does it feel? How does it feel to be in Okemos?
Yeah, you know what? I love it. Okemos has always been, obviously born and raised in Grand Ledge, and I played sports. I was a three-sport athlete and went to Lansing Community College and played basketball, then got a full-ride scholarship to Wayne State and played basketball there. So that has always been a, kind of near and dear to my heart. And so when we were playing in high school, Okemos was always one of our top competitors, and I loved coming to Okemos, and I loved that opportunity. And just this side of the town, is just so nice. There's so much to do out here. There's so many opportunities, and we're just really grateful, not only to have our West Lansing location, but to come out to Okemos is just something. It's kind of a dream come true for me.
Do you feel like you've always been an achiever, go-getter, competitor type of person?
Yeah, I mean, very much so. That's something, I have this natural internal drive, and it's something that I've kind of always had. Even as an athlete, it's something of always achieving the best, always learning, a continuous learner. And that's something that I've done. I went to school for 13 years to do what I do as a manual physical therapist. I've had the opportunity to work with some of the best people in the world. I've worked with a manual therapist, the top manual therapist in the world from Oslo, Norway, and had the opportunity to develop a textbook with him. I've taught at Oakland University for many years. I've sat in, I was appointed by two different governors, Governor Granholm and Governor Schneider, to sit on the State Board of Physical Therapy, and I chaired it for 3. So I drafted and was instrumental in drafting all the rules and regulations in which physical therapists currently practice by in the state of Michigan. Like right from the beginning, I would say, whether it's sports or whether it's business or my profession, or my main goal is to be the best that I can and to influence everybody around me to achieve those same kind of goals.
What do you think where do you think your inner drive comes from and your passion for what you do?
That's interesting that you say it's kind of that. It's just something that I've always had, and I can say probably, thanks to my parents. It's been something, from them. Gary and Phyllis Hetherington, they have been instrumental in pushing me to, really achieve and to continue to succeed. And oftentimes, especially this day and age, as I do and I teach a lot of leadership classes and female leadership classes. I currently chair the Athena PowerLink organization.
The what organization?
The Athena PowerLink organization for the Chamber of Commerce in Lansing. And it's a women-driven leadership type of thing where we get in women owners and we put them through programs in which they can excel. So we develop teams for them. But, something that I've come across is that many women will come across and they'll say, I just didn't think I could do that. I didn't think as a woman that I could do that. I needed to sacrifice because of family, or I needed to do this, or I needed to do that. And that's something that my parents, and I'm always shocked about that because that's never been a thought in my mind. My parents have always instilled that there isn't anything you can't do. You put your mind to it and you figure it out, and your family is going to support you in whatever it is to make sure that you get it done, and they certainly have. So
that's how my mom was as well. Very motivational.
Yeah.
I was a single mom with 2 kids, and she was always, be independent, be strong, keep going, stop crying, you can do it.
Right. Yeah.
Anytime I felt times were tough, she was there to keep me motivated.
Yeah.
And keep going.
Yeah. It is something that I think is very powerful, and the more opportunity that I've had to meet with very highly successful women, I find the key common denominator is strong and supportive parents. And I think that's something that is just key, and something that I try to do every day for my kids as well.
Now, are your parents from Grand Ledge as well?
They are, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So they are from the area, and so I was born and raised in the area, and then I came back. I lived in Detroit for many years, and St. John's, and kind of all around. But I ended up building a house about a quarter mile away from my parents. So now they're very supportive. So my husband Russ, Marlan, and then I have Carson and Layton, 2 younger kids that have the opportunity, almost on a daily basis to see their grandparents. So that's been very nice.
Now, do they play sports yet? Are they old enough to
They
be in
do.
sports?
Yep.
Okay.
And so both my husband and I were really involved in coaching and, all of the different things. So yes, we're going from practice to practice to practice. So the minute I get done with work, it doesn't end. As a working mom, I'm sure many of you can relate. It's go time, right?
So she's also a cab driver then.
Yes,
right?
A cab driver, a chef.
That's right.
Yeah. Right.
Financial planner,
business,
like organizer, everything.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So your kids have the advantage of having a mom who's brilliant in physical therapy, and so they kind of have that advantage if something goes wrong or if they're not able to excel in something, because one of the things you do at your clinic is helping, and I'm probably going to say this wrong because I'm not in your industry,
right.
so please correct
that's
me
fine.
if I say something wrong. The ability to be able to, what do you call, like lengthen out their stride,
Right, yeah,
what do you
any
call-
kind of structure.
Yeah.
And so for physical therapy, for those of you that don't know, there's many different aspects.
Obviously,
We-
I'll just
So we focus on orthopedic manual physical therapy and in all ages. So, anywhere from, we've seen babies all the way on up, we've had somebody that's 101 that's training in our facilities.
Wow.
And so we not only treat injuries, so total joints, total knees, total hips, total shoulders, rotator cuff, back surgeries, those type of things. So we rehab after those incidents. But we also do, our focus also is preventative care, which is really important, I think, this day and age, is that we can assess people's structure and what is going on and change some just minute things in regards to biomechanics and structure so that we prevent injuries. And that's huge because it's so cost effective. It's better to be able to do that than to have surgery. We've seen many people that have had meniscus tears or rotator cuffs. We've been able to rehab and avoid surgery when they've actually had it scheduled. So, we see all strides.
What about post-surgery, or if somebody already has mobility issues? I'm sure they come to you as well, not more preventative, but sort of, hey, now I'm really struggling.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see, all the time. So post-operative, ACL repairs, we'll see post-operative surgical repairs, and aches and pains, or like you said, mobility. I'm having a hard time getting up even, like I'm feeling weak and different things like that. So we develop training programs. We work one-on-one with every one of our patients at every visit for a half an hour, and then they go through a training program where they're usually in our clinic for an hour at a time, hands-on, one-on-one, and then they're on machines and equipment and different things to kind of improve. So we improve their biomechanics and their structure, and then they go through and they develop strength to maintain it. So that's where we feel that we really excel, is that a lot of places will just do the hands-on, or you don't ever get hands-on, you just do the exercises. And when you put it together, it's magical. It's amazing how you can see transformation in biomechanics and performance and overall functional level with these individuals.
So you had mentioned a community center or room. Is that a place where a lot of times you go to physical therapy, you're one-on-one with the doctor, or they go through some stretches or something, and then they give you, a little guide that you do when you go home, and most people probably never do it. I'm very guilty of that, never following it until I'm aching again, and then I'm too embarrassed to go back, so then I find the little sheet and do my physical therapy like I'm supposed to do. Do you have the kind of facility where people are able to come in and do some of those things on their own, or is it strictly, where they do one-on-one, but they can also come in and do that there instead of just at their house?
Yeah, so that is, that's instrumental in the way that we differentiate between, just a standard physical therapy clinic, and the fact that it is important to me as you move forward that, we know that, people have lives. They can't expect to say, okay, here's a list of exercises, do it for the rest of your life. That's just not realistic. But if you can incorporate what the changes that you've made, those changes in the way that you move and how you do things in your day-to-day activities, that's phenomenal. That's where it actually truly, that function starts to change there. So when we look at those kind of things, we encourage people to come back in for tune-ups. So it's because we've talked to patients, like yourself, where you're saying, I'm just so embarrassed to go back to physical therapy because I feel like I failed.
Yeah.
We say that's part of living. Like that is part of life. And, being an athlete and being a collegiate athlete and being a coach, you don't see, even working with professional athletes, they have a coach. They don't have a coach just for 2 months. They don't have a coach just for 1 month or 6 weeks. They have a coach throughout their whole career. And that's what we want to be at Peak Performance Physical Therapy, as coaches for these people throughout their career, where if you feel like you're slipping, come back in. We can help you. We're your coach. We're your champion. And we have the skill set and the expertise. It's a doctoral profession for musculoskeletal care to really make a difference.
Your vision to ensure people do not get caught up in the healthcare system.
Yeah.
I was reading that online, looking into that a little bit. Nobody really wants to be caught up in the healthcare system. And so I'm assuming everything you're saying just now about having a lifelong coach is part of that whole process.
It is, yep. And so part of being part of our team, our community, as part of our patients, we call it, kind of our concierge type of patient management system. So our case management system in Peak Performance Physical Therapy. And what it is once you come into our facilities, you're now part of our family. And we have a vast array of physicians that we work with, PM&R physicians, acupuncturists, massage therapists, MRI and imaging centers, where when you come in and you need something done, we can help assist that and move forward. So typically, and I'll tell you kind of an instance of what happened, is I had an individual last week that called me and said, hey, my son was in the gym and he tweaked his knee and something happened and we're not exactly sure what's going on. So, can you help us out? Absolutely. I said, why don't you come in tomorrow? I'll take a look at him. He came in, I suspected he had an ACL tear. I called one of my colleagues, an orthopedic surgeon, and I said, hey, this is what happened. This happened yesterday. I evaluated him today. Could you take a look at him? And he said, you know what? Send him over right now. I'll squeeze him in. So he got to go from a doctor of physical therapy to an orthopedic surgeon on the same day, the day after it happened, and had an MRI the next morning. So that's the kind of care, and I've had the opportunity to work with many professional athletes and professional programs, and that's the kind of care that they get. So why is that not realistic type of care for just our general population? And I think with the connections that we have through the community and the phenomenal doctors that we work with, we've developed those kind of connections. Therefore, people that are on our, in our team, part of our family that are our patients, receive that kind of care, as well as their families. So,
do you see chronic pain, people with chronic pain, do you see that chronic pain lessen through programs?
Yeah, so we work with a lot of chronic pain. Some individuals, fibromyalgia. I work with a lot of patients with hypermobility, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which can be extremely painful. So that's where their muscles and their tendons are loose, achiness. They've had potentially multiple surgeries because it's gone without being diagnosed. So we can see drastic changes in physical therapy when that's addressed appropriately. And even people that have been dealing with chronic pain over periods of time, we see some tremendous change in function and just ability.
Now, you're out in the community too. You're not just in the building.
Right, yes.
You're at providing clinics in other locations, including the Meridian Senior Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
tell us about your community involvement with the Senior Center and what you do there.
Yeah. So we are, we do a tremendous amount of giving back and effort and collaboration within our community. So not only with Playmakers, but with Justin Grinnell and State of Fitness, and then the Community Center. We have many different Spartan Fit and Dance as well. So
yes,
we do.
That's where I go.
Yeah.
So I know this.
Right. Yes,
Yep.
Yeah. So we do injury prevention clinics, which is free to cost to the community. They can come in and they can see one of our doctors or athletic trainers and just a quick consult in regards to assessment and evaluation in the communities. We do that in the Senior Center. We also do educational seminars at these locations.
Okay.
for people that come in. So
we started the beginning of the show talking about 2018, opening up a clinic and opening up Peak Performance next to Playmakers and Okemos. But in 2018, you also were recognized with the 2018 Ernst & Young Entrepreneurial Winning Women Award, the first female in Michigan to receive this award. Congratulations. Tell us.
Thank you.
Tell us what this award is and what that means.
Yeah, this was quite an honor. It was an amazing honor to receive the award, but the opportunity to go through the process as well was, dramatic for us as a company. So Ernst & Young is, for those of you that don't know, a phenomenal, CPA firm. They're an international firm. And I was nominated by one of the CEOs, so Amanda Hayhoe, who owns Hayhoe Asphalt, and then internally, Danny McNeely, my assistant, went together and did some nominations and sent it in, kind of just as a wing and a prayer. Let's see if this works. You have to meet revenue criterias and all of that for the award, and then they go through and they look at that, and then they came in, and it was a series of 4 interviews where they come in. So an interview process, and each one became more robust, and they came in and did a full clinical assessment of all your financials and your business and your growth and your philosophy and your mission and all of that. The last one, I actually sit and interviewed in a panel of phenomenal CEOs, some of the top CEOs in the country, as well as the dean of the Harvard Business School. So just kind of an opportunity, and that was a Skype interview. And then receiving this award there's 12 women that have received it in North America. And so Peak Performance, and I was the only one in the healthcare realm this year of women business owners that meet this criteria to receive this. So it was an honor. I got to go to Palm Springs and meet some of the top CEOs in the world.
Oh, cool.
And develop this kind of camaraderie and partnerships and opportunities that it could be endless for our company.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, 12. Do you know how many receive it overall in the course of 1 year? How many have received it?
So only 12 receive it a year. There was
Okay.
over 2,000 applicants
Oh my goodness.
for the award.
Oh,
So
hello.
yeah, and they're across all of North America. And
Wow.
so it was amazing opportunity, and
Right here in this community.
right here in Okemos. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell us about Peak Performance? You're sort of leaving a legacy here. I mean, you truly are a female leader in your profession.
Yeah, well, I hope to be. I mean, that's something that, I strive to be. I strive to be, not only a leader, but a mentor and, kind of a difference maker. So I would say, if anybody in the Okemos area is suffering from any aches and pains or soreness or anything, come to Peak Performance. You're going to feel the difference. It's based off of, women leadership with compassion, but that true grit and that true competitiveness to really fight for you, to fight for you as a patient, to fight for you as a community, and a bigger mission to make us healthier, to make this community better. And, that's truly my mission. So I fight, and my team, I have a phenomenal team each and every day to truly make a difference in the communities that we serve.
How can people find out more about you? Where do they go? Website, email?
Yeah, absolutely.
Phone.
Yeah, so our website is peakperformanceompt.com, and our phone number is 517-853-6800.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad to have you on and get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I want to thank you for watching this episode of Up Close.